Hi, how you doing? Chin chin. Cheers. Slunchova. Skål. Bottoms up. Mm. Seller's remorse. Seller's remorse. Feeling regret or sadness in selling something that you're emotionally attached to, whether you've had to sell it for financial gain or just because you're blooming skin. There's been occasions in all our lives, haven't we, where we've had to sort of cut back on what we own, various reasons. But there's a fair bit of Beatles stuff I've sold, and I've still got. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I've still got quite a bit of stuff. I've hung on to some stuff, but the original stuff. What I miss most is stuff I had very early on in loving the Beatles, as in the late 1970s. The first thing I can remember is Dad buying me the singles box set, the Beatles. This is a bit different because I've actually managed to get this back again, but it's not what you might think. I found quite cheaply the empty box, not with all the original records in it. And of course, it had all the original records in it. I've got one of the original records I kept. I'll show you in a minute what I'm using this for now. Where is it? That one there. The Sgt. Pepper single, but it's got With a Little Help, My Friends, and A Day in the Life. That one there. I'm sure you've probably got that. Yeah. And this box set I had came with the original leaflet. I just bought the box set. It was like last year or something, and it's got all of them on it. Yeah. So this is when the 24 original Beatles singles. But I regret the original box being sold because we had all the this color green kind of singles. But what I'm using this for now is for my collection of original Beatles singles over the years. I won't show you them all, but ones I've managed to get over the years. Quite nice copies of all of the Beatles singles. Quite nice copies of them all over the years, and I'm using this to store the original ones. Unorthodox, but I was quite pleased to find that. It's quite cheap. It's a little bit bashed, but yeah, and I must try and buy the Yesterday and the Back in the USSR. Those two singles that came out later. Obviously, never were singles back in the day. So that's a bit different because I had that back. And I also had, it was the same sort of thing really, but back then, and I've sold it, the BC13, the UK vinyl album box set in that blue with the sort of gold lettering. It goes for a lot of money now, doesn't it, that? Anyway, I managed to get that in like 1979, I think. I think it was at a Beatles convention. Was it 1980? One of those two. I managed to get it empty. Apart from it had the Beatles rarities in it. So somebody was selling it really cheap as well. I remember at the time it was like no money. And they had the box set BC13 but empty apart from the rarities album, which originally I think came with, didn't it? They did put it out later. It was the B-sides, wasn't it? And the German, I Want to Hold Your Hand, etc. So I had that. And what I did, of course, was just buy all the albums in the late. And interestingly, because I know Liverpool quite well, got family there, both my mum and dad were from Liverpool, and I bought these albums actually on Whitechapel. Isn't that funny? Just a few doors down from where the original NEMS store would have been. Isn't that funny? I was thinking, I'm buying these from where Brian Epstein's record shop was. I thought that was quite a nice connection. Yeah, but I bought most of them there. I think, maybe an occasional. I think I bought Let It Be and W.H. Smith's. Anyway, it's gone. It's gone. I sold it. I know. I think the only one I didn't have, a new album I didn't buy was Yellow Submarine. But I bought an old copy of that, which I've still got, and the White Album as well. I'll talk about the White Album again in a minute. It's one of my big seller's remorses. Anyway, so yeah, it was all the UK albums apart from the White Album and Yellow Submarine. all the ones that were that came with that PC-13, you know, of course, plus the rarities thing. I sold it about, I don't know when I sold it about. I needed the money and I just sold it, and I sold it to some guy somewhere, and I think it was about, I don't know how much I got for it now. It was quite a good price. I needed the money and I sold it, but I regret it because those were my first albums I bought. I bought them all new, but they were dear to me, you know. And later on, I started collecting, or around about the same time, I started collecting the original, or as near as I could get to the original 60s English copies, you know, first, second, or third generation, all the ones with the yellow, you know, the parlophone with the yellow lettering on it, went quite a bit on, in, didn't it? That, and then the UK Apple albums with a sort of darker Apple label. So I had all those. I bought them. But yeah, I missed that one. Dad used to subscribe to World Records because he's got classical albums, which I've inherited myself now. And also there was the other box set they did, you know, from Liverpool. That Beatle Dave, you were doing a thing about that because you just picked up one on the cassette one. But I had that. Dad bought me that in like 1980, and it was eight. It's 8 albums. I think it's 8 albums. Yeah, and that was nice sort of mock wooden crate effect. Though I wasn't terribly impressed with the sleeve designs. It was all like the pictures bursting out of wrapping paper, wasn't it? I remember thinking that wasn't great, but it was great selection of music, and I didn't really play them actually. I don't think I played it actually because I just had it because I had all, you know, on the. I like to listen to it as it came out. Really, you know, what I did. My introduction was the Red and Blue albums, like a lot of you, but I didn't really play the albums on that from Liverpool set. It was just like a collector's set to have. I believe Andrew at Parlogram, he said that the versions on there are top notch. They're really from the, you know, master. They're really good copies of them, you know. So he was praising that, if I remember rightly. Anyway, that's gone. That's gone. So I was sorry to lose it because of the emotional connection my dad bought it me, you know. And then another one that my dad bought me too. Oh, this is hard. It's breaking my heart. Yeah. No, really. I don't want to depress you. I just thought it'd be interesting to reflect. I'm sure have you got albums? Let me know in the comments. Things that you maybe had and haven't got any more or lost for whatever reason. It'd be interesting to know, to share your, you know, regrets like that. I think it helps, doesn't it? Talk about these things. It's like a loss, isn't it? I know as you get older, you start sort of thinking, oh, these things I'm not, you know what I mean. I'm not going to get any more depressing anyway. But actually, ironically, as I was been hinting at very recently, I kind of want to surround myself with more stuff, bringing stuff, you know, things I even rebuying things I used to have. I don't think I'm going to rebuy these things because in a lot of cases, I can't afford them anyway. They're too expensive. Another big regret is the John Lennon, what was it, 9-album box set? Was it the Lennon? Yeah, I think the silver one. It was John with a silver box set. Came out about 1981. Had all the albums from from Live Peace in Toronto to Rock and Roll. All of those albums had, and it had a little blue booklet in it. I remember with just after John was murdered, they had sort of like special editions in the Liverpool Echo reprint. So they reprinted it in this little blue book. But I did actually get the original ones from the Liverpool Echo, and I've still got them. The sort of tribute to John things that came out. And there's a few of them, you know, like John's life, you know, in pictures, and they reproduced that in that silver box set, which I've seen going for a lot of money now. So if you've got one, I think I saw one for about 400 quid, equivalent to that anyway. That was US dollars. So that's going for a lot of money. That is a real regret. Anyway, even if I had it now, I'd probably still sell it, I'm afraid. So yeah, I won't be buying that back again. And of course, I've got the John Lennon albums. So actually, that was funny because I had all the John Lennon albums that I bought in the late 70s. And then I did buy a few original ones, of course, the Two Virgins and, you know, Life of the Lions and Wedding albums. I managed to get eventually original copies of. And then I did buy an original version of Peace in Toronto, the one with the calendar. And the other ones were pretty much near enough. Oh, the Imagine album, yeah, because that had the later ones of that didn't have the inner sleeve, did they? Remember the inner sleeve with the swirly picture? You know, the pictures going around in a circle, and the postcard and the poster were in all the later copies, the reprints of it. So I think at one point I had about 3 copies of some of those John Lennon albums. So yeah, I sold that. How much did I get for it? I cannot remember now. I've tried to remember how much I got for that now. Certainly wasn't £400. In the 90s when I was at drama school, because I was skint there, I didn't have any money, so I think I sold that then. And it was, you know, but again, it's something my dad bought for me. Well, my parents bought for me, and my dad bought for me. So it's, yeah, I regret that. What else? The White Album. The White Album. The White Album. White vinyl. UK export with the same catalogue number. It was stereo, PCS, something. I don't remember. You probably know if you're die-hard Beatles fans. All the catalogue numbers. Do you know? I used to know some. Forgotten. I bought it in Liverpool. It was quite close to the Adelphi in Liverpool, and long gone. But this was a warehouse full of sort of new, not just Beatles, but everything. And they had loads of copies of this White Album on white vinyl with a sort of Union Jack sticker saying for export. I think it had some American dollars thing on it, but it was done for export from Britain. White vinyl, just, you know, knockdown price, cheaper than I could find it anywhere else. And yeah, I remember, bless Liz and Jim Hughes. You'll know who Liz and Jim Hughes are if you're a real die-hard Beatles fan from the long years. But if you went to Liverpool, they ran the Magical Mystery Store on North John Street. They later Cavern Mecca and then I really love them. I'm going to talk about them just one day. Just talk about them because they were they were like friends, but they were friends to everyone. You know, when there was nothing there of the Beatles, which there wasn't in Liverpool. Do you remember before John was murdered, how difficult it was finding anything to do with the Beatles around Liverpool, apart from that statue, you know, that Arthur Dooley statue, you know, the sort of Madonna that was there, but nothing else was there, really. And they ran that right at the end of Matthew Street, North John Street. The doorway's still there. Every time I'm in Liverpool, I think, oh, I went so often in the 79, 80 that they knew me by name, you know. They always asked me, and I bought lots of things off them, and they didn't rip you off. They sold memorabilia in there. I remember talking to Jim about this, showing him I bought this. And he said, oh, we can't. Maybe by then, yeah, they'd moved into Cavern Mecca then on. So they closed the Magical Mystery Store on North John Street. They'd moved to Cavern Mecca on Matthew Street. Because I remember telling Jim I'd bought it, and he said, we can't compete with those prices. You know, and also they built Cavern Walks then, and obviously, do you know what? It was after John was murdered, wasn't it? That's when it was. It was 81. Yeah, it was. That must be when I bought that album there, even though I think it came out 78. That White Album UK export. Yeah, I've just remembered it was after John was murdered, because that's why we were talking about Cavern Walks. And it was all changing, and of course they didn't last much longer, did they? I remember seeing them not long before the store closed, and they were involved with the early Beatles conventions, weren't they? Oh, bless Liz and Jim. They were lovely, and as I say, I'm going to talk a bit more in depth about them one day, and maybe with others who remember them fondly as well. Bless them both. Liz and Jim. My early love of the Beatles was enhanced by knowing you two, or being friends with you two, or feeling I was friends. I think they were friends with everybody. They were just nice people, were they? Genuine nice people, bless them. That's gone as well. I sold it. I sold that a long time ago, maybe again 90s when I was needing cash. Can't remember what I got for it. I think I got a good price. Might have been £100. I think it was, which 25 years ago, 30 years ago was a good price for it. Now it's going for, I saw one £400, £500, sometimes more than that, you know, depends on the condition. With the mine, you know, I still kept the little Union Jack export sticker on mine. And actually, I did play it a lot. That was my play album. That was my only copy of the White Album. I did buy a mono copy shortly after that, which I've still got. Not very, not a low number, quite a highish number, but quite a nice copy of it. Didn't have the poster and the photographs there, but it's actually quite nice. Big regret not having that anymore. It really is. And of course, and then Abbey Road as well. I remember buying that in Penny Lane Records. There was this wonderful record shop called Penny Lane. It was a sort of chain. There was one in Liverpool, close to Bowl Street. There was one there, and then there was one in Chester. There might have been another one somewhere. Yeah, I bought the Abbey Road again, UK export green vinyl, and that was my Abbey Road. That was. No, I tried another one. So I had 2 Abbey Roads. The green vinyl one, loved it. Ah, and I sold that as well, didn't I? That's gone. Can't remember how much I got for that. But I've seen them going for a few £100 for it. That's one I would like back. I don't think I could ever afford to get the White Album back again. And I think other countries, other territories did it on white vinyl, like in Australia. I know they did a couple of White Album white vinyls and Abbey Road green vinyls. But I'd want the UK ones. Yeah, I still want that green vinyl. I'm like a lot of you, a bit of a coloured vinyl freak. I like vinyl Abbey Road. Yeah, gone. It's gone. Oh, this is breaking my heart. This video, but it's not breaking your heart. Anyway, that's it. I think those are my big regrets. Those are my seller's remorses. But I had to sell them. It gave me some money at the time, which I needed to eat, to be as big as I am now. And I think, oh, I wish I had them still. Anyway, let me know if you've got any seller's remorses. And kudos to Mr. Mayo, Joe Mayo, because he originally gave me the idea for this. Well, not because I spoke to him. He was mentioning it. I don't think he knows me from Adam. Why should he? But he initially talked about it on one of his videos, I think. So yeah. Bless you. I'm going to be in London next week, actually, for the John Lennon 1-to-1 preview at the IMAX, BFI IMAX, on Wednesday the 9th. So if you're there, to see you, Beatley Tone, I'm looking forward to seeing you. Hopefully we'll run into each other and I'll say hi to you. And anyone else, be nice to see you. So bless you. Other than that, will I see you again? I sincerely hope so. Oh, thanks for watching.